Thank you. How are you? How are you? So we're gonna be reading Numbers chapter 7 to 13. I previously did 1 to 6. That was on Thursday. So that was really just the genealogy of the Israelites and the Levites and really what each person in the camp was to carry. Hi Ro, how are you? Yeah, and it was really just for um I said explaining what each man was to carry from the tabernacle when they need to set it up and when they need to set off um in regards to building the tabernacle. So chapters 1 to 6. Hi Kevin, how are you? Chapters 1 to 6 was just explaining that. So yes, it's a lot and it may seem like boring, but that the book is called Numbers for a reason, right? So um that's what I was reading, and I'll be doing chapters 7 to 13 today. And I do have like notes. Wait 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 running as ever. You're welcome, Kevin. um I do have some notes, so if I do look down or whatever, I am doing that. That's really just to help me keep on track and keep focused in what I am speaking, right? So for anyone that's new here, what I do, I just read the word verbatim by verbatim, word for word, God's words, right? And hey Zach, how are you? Good to see you. I, as I said, I just read from the book of itself, right? I may give like a little bit of commentary here and there, but mainly it's just to read the word, and it's to encourage you to get into your Bible, to build a relationship with God, and just to get you thinking a bit more and understanding what you are reading, right? I am still new to this, guys. I'm still learning. I've been on this walk for 1 year and 9 months, okay? Hey Nick, how are you? And as I said, I'm still learning, so come and learn with me. Whole reason I started this because as someone that is in the beginning of their walk, when I was trying to find people like me who, essentially just wanted to start learning and wasn't mature. Hey, hey Jay, and wanted to, hey twins, and I just wanted to learn, right? With someone on my kind of level, I couldn't find much, right? So I really just started this to encourage other people that are on their walk, that are on their walk with Christ, like myself. Hi Trey, hi twins. uh, who are on their walk in the beginning like me, just to get to know God and build a relationship. And I say come in this with an open mind because that's how I started. I started with an open mind, and here we are today. I am reading the Bible. I started off as a non-believer, but I am a believer, and I already have content online. I already have videos explaining my walk with Christ, right? So I'm not gonna like go into again how good God is, right, and how much He's transformed my life, because there's videos on it. So as I said, it will be chapters 7 to 13 that I'm reading today. And as I said, I'm a learner, so all, like, if I'm saying something wrong, all correction is like accepted, right? As long as it's done righteously, guys, right? As long as it's done righteously and your heart is there to really help me, then that's fine. But yes, we shall start the reading. So this is Numbers chapter 7. When Moses finished setting up the tabernacle, he anointed and consecrated it and all its furnishings. He also anointed and consecrated the altar and all its utensils. Then the leaders of Israel, the head of families who were the tribal leaders in charge of those who were counted, made offerings. They brought as their gifts before the Lord 6 covered carts and 12 oxen, an ox from each leader and a cart from every two. These they represented before the tabernacle. The Lord said to Moses, accept these from them, that they may be used in the work at the tent of meeting. Give them to the Levites as each man's work requires. So Moses took the carts and oxen and gave them to the Levites. He gave 2 carts and 4 oxen to the Gershonites, as their work required. And he gave 4 carts and 8 oxen to the Merarites, as their work required. They were all under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. But Moses did not give any to the Kohathites, because they were to carry on their shoulders the holy things for which they were responsible. When the altar was anointed, the leaders brought their offerings for its dedication and presented them before the altar. For the Lord has said to Moses, Each day, one leader is to bring his offering for the dedication of the altar. The one who brings his offering on the first day was Nishon, son of Amminadab of the tribe of Judah. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb, a year old for a blood offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Nashon, son of Amminadab. On the second day, Nathaniel, son of Zuar, the leader of Issachar, brought his offerings. The offering he brought was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each one filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering, 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels, filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Nathaniel, son of Zuar. On the third day, Eliab, son of Helon, the leader of the people of Zebulun, brought his offerings. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering. 1 male goat for a sin offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Eliab, son of Helon. On the 4th day, Eleazar, son of Shediah, the leader of the people of Reuben, brought his offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Eleazar, son of Shediah. On the 5th day, Shelumiel, son of Shurishadai, the leader of the people of Simeon, brought his offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering. 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Shemiel, son of Shurishadai. On the 6th day, Elisha, son of Duel, the leader of the people of Gad, brought his offerings. His offerings was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Elisha, son of Duel. On the 7th day, Elishama, son of Ammihud, the leader of the people of Ephraim, brought his offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Elishama, son of Ammihud. On the 8th day, Gamaliel, son of Pedahzur, leader of the people of Manasseh, I always get this word wrong. It will come back to me. Brought this offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering. 1 male goat for a sin offering. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Gamaliel, son of Pedahzur. On the 9th day, Abidan, son of Gideoni, the leader of the people of Benjamin, brought his offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering, 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, the male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Abidan, son of Gideoni. On the 10th day, Ahiezer, son of Amminishadai, the leader of the people of Dan, brought his offering. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mix and with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Ahiezer, son of Amminishadai. On the 11th day, Pagel, son of Okran, the leader of the people of Asher, brought his offerings. His offering was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering. 1 gold dish weighing 10 shekels filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Pagel, son of Okran. On the 5th day, Ahira, son of Enan, the leader of the people of Naphtali, brought his offerings. His offerings was 1 silver plate weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver sprinkling bowl weighing 70 shekels, both according to the sanctuary shekel, each filled with the finest flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering, the gold dish weighing 10 shekels, filled with incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb a year old for a burnt offering, 1 male goat for a sin offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old to be sacrificed as a fellowship offering. This was the offering of Ahira, son of Enan. These were the offerings of the Israelite leaders for the dedication of the altar when it was anointed: 12 silver plates, 12 silver sprinkling bowls, and 12 gold dishes. Each silver plate weighed 130 shekels, and each sprinkling bowl 70 shekels. Altogether, the silver dishes weighed 2,400 shekels according to the sanctuary shekel. The 12 gold dishes filled with incense weighed 10 shekels each, according to the sanctuary shekel. Altogether, the gold dishes weighed 120 shekels. The total number of animals for the burnt offering came to 12 young bulls, 12 rams, and 12 male lambs a year old, together with their grain offering. 12 male goats were used for the sin offering. The total of animals for the sacrifice of the fellowship offering came to 24 oxen, 60 rams, 60 male goats, and 60 male lambs a year old. These were the offerings for the dedication of the altar after it was anointed. When Moses entered the tent of the meeting to speak with the Lord, he heard the voice speaking to him between the 2 cherubims above the atonement cover on the ark of the covenant law. In this way, the Lord spoke to him. Chapter 8. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and say to him, When you set up the lamp, see that all 7 light up the area in front of the lampstand. Aaron did so. He set up the lamps so that they face forwards on the lampstand, just as the Lord commanded Moses. This is how the lampstand was made. It was made of hammered gold from its base to its blossoms. The lampstand was made exactly like the pattern the Lord had shown Moses. The Lord said to Moses, take the Levites from among all the Israelites and make them ceremonially clean. To purify them, do this. Sprinkle the water of cleansing on them. Then make them shave their whole bodies and wash their clothes, and so they will purify themselves. Make them take a young bull with its grain offering of the finest flour mixed with olive oil. Then you are to take a second bull for a sin offering. Bring the Levites to the front of the tent of the meeting and assemble the whole Israelite community. You are to bring the Levites before the Lord, and the Israelites are to lay their hands on them. Aaron is to present the Levites before the Lord as a wave offering from the Israelites, so that they may be ready to do the work of the Lord. Then the Levites are to lay their hands on the head of the bull, using one for a sin offering to the Lord and the other for a burnt offering to make atonement for the Levites. Make the Levites stand in front of Aaron and his sons, and then presented them as a wave offering to the Lord. In this way, you are to set the Levites apart from the other Israelites, and the Levites will be mine. After you have purified the Levites and presented them as a wave offering, you are to come to do their work at the tent of meeting. They are the Israelites who are to be given holy to me. I have taken them as my own in place of the firstborn, the first male offspring from every Israelite woman. Every firstborn male in Israel, whether human or animal, is mine. When I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I set them apart for myself, and I have taken the Levites in place of all the firstborn sons in Israel. From among all the Israelites, I have given the Levites as gifts to Aaron and his sons to do the work at the tent of meeting on behalf of the Israelites, and to make atonement for them, so that no plague will strike the Israelites when they go near the sanctuary. Moses, Aaron, and the whole Israelite community did what the Levites, just as the Lord commanded Moses. The Levites purified themselves and washed their clothes. Then Aaron presented them as a wave offering before the Lord and made atonement for them to purify them. After that, the Levites came to do their work at the tent of meeting under the supervision of Aaron and his sons. They did with the Levites just as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, this applies to the Levites. Men 25 years old or more shall come to take part in a work at the tent of meeting, but at the age of 50 they must retire from their usual duties and no longer work. They may assist their brothers in performing their duties at the tent of meeting, but they themselves must not do the work. This then is how you are to assign the responsibility of the Levites. Chapter 9. The Lord spoke to Moses in the desert of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they came out of Egypt. He said, make the Israelites celebrate the Passover at the appointed time. Celebrate it at the appointed time at twilight on the 14th day of this month, in accordance with all its rules and regulations. So Moses told the Israelites to celebrate the Passover, and they did so in the desert of Sinai at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. The Israelites did everything just as the Lord commanded Moses. But some of them could not celebrate the Passover on that day because they were ceremonially unclean on account of a dead body. So they came to Moses and Aaron that same day and said to Moses, we have become unclean because of a dead body. But why should we be kept from presenting the Lord's offering with the other Israelites at the appointed time? Moses answered them, wait until I find out what the Lord commands concerning you. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites, when any of you or your descendants are unclean because of a dead body or are away on a journey, they are still to celebrate the Lord's Passover. But they are to do this on the 14th day of the second month at twilight. They are to eat the lamb together with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They must not leave any of it till morning or break any of its bones. When they celebrate the Passover, they must follow all the regulations. But if anyone who is ceremonially clean and not on a journey fails to celebrate the Passover, they must be cut off from their people for not presenting the Lord's offering at the appointed time. They will bear the consequences of their sin. A foreigner residing among you is also to celebrate the Lord's Passover in accordance with its rules and regulations. You must have the same regulations for both the foreigner and the native born. On the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, the cloud covered it. From evening till morning, the cloud above the tabernacle looked like fire. That is how it continued to be. The cloud covered it. And at night it looked like fire. Whenever the cloud shifted from above the tent, the Israelites set out. Wherever the cloud settled, the Israelites set up camp. At the Lord's command, the Israelites set out, and at his command, they set up camp. As long as the cloud stayed over the tabernacle, they remained in camp. When the cloud remained over the tabernacle a long time, the Israelites obeyed the Lord's order and did not set out. Sometimes the cloud was over the tabernacle for only a few days. At the Lord's command, they would set up camp, and then at his command, they would set out. Sometimes the cloud would stay only from evening to morning, and when it lifted in the morning, they set out, whether by day or by night. Whenever the cloud lifted, they set out. Whenever the cloud stayed over the tabernacle for 2 days or a month or a year, the Israelites would remain in camp and not set out. But when it lifted, they would set out. At the Lord's command, they set up camp. At the Lord's command, they set out. They obeyed the Lord's order in accordance with his command through Moses. Chapter 10. The Lord said to Moses, make 2 trumpets of hammered silver and use them for calling the community together and for the camps to set out. When both are sounded, the whole community is assembled before you at the entrance to the tent of meeting. If only one is sounded, the leaders, the head of the clans of Israel, are to assemble before you. When a trumpet blast is sounded, the tribes camping on the east are to set out. At the sounding of a second blast, the camps on the south are to set out. The blast will be the signal for setting out. To gather the assembly, blow the trumpets, but not with the signal for setting out. The sons of Aaron, the priests, are to blow the trumpets. This is to be a lasting ordinance for you and the generations to come. When you go into battle in your own land against any enemy who is oppressing you, sound a blast on the trumpet. Then you will be remembered by the Lord your God and rescued by your enemies. Also at your times of rejoicing, your appointed festivals and new moon feasts, you are to sound the trumpets over your burnt offerings and fellow offerings, and there will be a memorial for you before God. I am the Lord your God. Amen. That's amazing, because God is literally saying to the Israelites, my presence is here. I'm here wherever you go, right? God is saying, I'm here wherever you go. My presence is here. Whenever you need me, call on me. Exactly that, right? So on the 12th day of the second month of the second year, the cloud lifted from above the tabernacle of the covenant law. Then the Israelites set out from the desert of Sinai and traveled from place to place until the cloud came to rest in the desert of Paran. They set out the first time at the Lord's command through Moses. The divisions of the camp of Judah went first under their standards. Nahshon, son of Amminadab, was in command. The third son of Zua was over the division of the tribe of Issachar, and Eliab, son of Helon, was over the divisions of the tribe of Zebulun. Then the tabernacle was taken down, and the Gershonites and the Merarites who carried it set out. The divisions of the camp of Reuben went next under their standards. Eliza's son of Shediah was in command. Shemiel, son of Shediah, was over the divisions of the tribe of Simeon, and Eliasaph, son of Deuel, was over the divisions of the tribe of Gad. Then the Kohathites set out carrying the holy things. The tabernacle was to be set up before they arrived. The divisions of the camp of Ephraim went next. Under their standards, Elishama, son of Ammihud, was in command. Gamiel, son of Pedazur, was over the divisions of the tribe of Manasseh. I've got it. Manasseh. And Abidan, son of Gideoni, was over the divisions of the tribe of Benjamin. Finally, as the rear guard for all the units, the divisions of the camp of Dan set out under their standards. Aiza, son of Amminishadai, was in command. Pagel, son of Okran, was over the divisions of the tribe of Asher, and Ahara, son of Enan, was over the divisions of the tribe of Naphtali. This was the order of march for the Israelites' divisions as they set out. Now Moses said to Hobab, son of Ruel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place about which the Lord said, I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good things to Israel. He answered, no, I will not go. I am going back to my own land and my own people. But Moses said, please do not leave us. You know where we should camp in the wilderness. You can be our eyes. If you come with us, we will share with you whatever good things the Lord gives us. So they set out from the mountain of the Lord and traveled for 3 days. The ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them during those 3 days to find them a place to rest. The cloud of the Lord was over them by day when they set out from camp. Whenever the ark set out, Moses said, rise up, Lord. May your enemies be scattered. May your foes flee before you. Whenever it came to rest, he said, return, Lord, to the countless thousands of Israel. Chapter 11. Now the people complained about their hardships. Now the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord. And when he heard them, his anger was aroused. Then the fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the earth's outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them. The rabble with them began to crave other food, and again the Israelites started wailing. So the rabble is the unruly crowd, right? Is the unruly crowd, which is the Israelites right now, as they're being very unruly, right? So Again, the Israelites started wailing and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remembered the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Also the cucumbers, melons, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna. So, do you know how ungrateful the Israelites are right now? And the manna is the bread of life, right? The manna is the daily bread, and we know the prayer, which says about the daily bread in Matthew's, right? This is God this is God providing them with food each day, right? So can you imagine the Israelites saying to them, I'm fed up of you giving me my daily bread. I'm fed up of you giving me this bread of life. I don't want this bread of life. I want what I had before, and I want what the Egyptians gave us, right? So, again, this is God's provisions. This is God helping the Israelites to survive by keeping them fed, right? And this is how they're showing how ungrateful they are, right? They're showing how ungrateful they are, right? And it's kind of sad that they don't see God's worth, right? And as I was thinking on it, right? As I was truly thinking on this part of the verse, right? I was thinking the Israelites rather eat from the world, right? They rather eat from the world. They rather get their provisions from the world than rather get it from God, to eat from God's words, to get God's provisions, to get God's daily bread, right? They couldn't be patient enough and wait that they caved in basically and said, like, no, we don't want this manna anymore, we don't want this bread, we want what we were familiar to, right? And I think that is the problem with the Israelites, because they can't see how great God is being to them. Hi, Rihanna. They can't see how great God is being to them by giving this provision to them every day. Can you imagine God giving you provisions every day, and then you complain to him that this is not enough, this is not what I want me, I don't want the bread that you've given me from heaven, right? I don't want all of this stuff because it's not satisfying. Basically, that's what they're saying to God. It's not satisfying, right? So I had to sit with that a little bit, because I was like, how ungrateful. But then I think I think a time in my life where I was ungrateful and I didn't see God's provision and God providing for me, and I didn't see all these things. So yeah, I was mad at the Israelites. I was very mad, but also there was a point in time that I was acting just like the Israelites, and I was not grateful for what God was providing me, right? And this Israel being bitter towards God, right? Being so bitter towards God. So I just had to say that, because we as humans, we cave into our weaknesses and get impatient with God sometimes, which we shouldn't. But that's what the Israelites did. So I just had to speak on that, because I sat down and I thought about it for a while. Like, wow, just God's providing for them. Like, don't be ungrateful for that. The manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people went around gathering it and then ground it in a hand mill, or crushed it in a mortar. They cooked it in a pot or made it into loaves, and it tasted like something made with olive oil. When the dew set on the camp at night, the manna also came down. Moses heard the people of every family wailing at the entrance to their tent. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you that you have put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms as a nurse carries an infant to the land you promised on earth to their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, give us meat to eat. I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you're going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me right now. If I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin. The Lord said to Moses, bring 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people. Make them come to the tent of meeting, that they must stand there with you. I will come and speak with you there, and I will take some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you, so that you will not have to carry it alone. Do you see how amazing God is, that he didn't want Moses to carry that all in his own, so he shared it out to the other leaders so that they can bear the burdens of the Israelites, right? That's how amazing God is. That's how compassionate he is. That's how loving he is, right? That he did that for Moses because he didn't want Moses to carry that burden, just like us. He doesn't want us to carry the burdens. He wants us to, give it to him. He doesn't want us to carry all these burdens alone, right? So tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow, when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat, we were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day or 2 days or 5 days, 10 or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and you loathe it, because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? But Moses said, here I am among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I will give them meat to eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if flock and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them? The Lord answered Moses, Is the Lord's arm too short? Amazing. Is the Lord's arm too short? Basically, the love the comeback that God is giving to Moses. He's saying, like, is my power limited? Is there anything that I can't do? Like, you are questioning me about what I can do. Like, do I not deliver? Do I not keep my promises? Am I not a faithful God? Like, what do you mean? I am going to deliver. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my promise, right? So yes, I just laughed at that, because I said, yes, you tell God, you tell Moses, you tell him. Now you will see whether or not what I say will come true for you. So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He brought together 70 of their elders and made them stand around the tent. Then the Lord came down in a cloud and spoke with him, and he took some of the power of the Spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 elders. When the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but they did not do it so again. However, 2 men whose name were Eldad and Medad had remained in the camp. They were listed among the elders, but did not go out to the tent, yet the Spirit also rested on them, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' assistant since youth, spoke up and said, Moses, my Lord, stop them. But Moses replied, are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord will put his Spirit on them. Then Moses and the elders of Israel returned to the camp. Now a wind went from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It scattered them up to 2 cubits deep all around the camp, as far as a day's walk in any direction. All that day and night, and all the next day, the people went out and gathered quail. No one gathered less than 10 homers. Then they spread them out all around the camp. But while the meat was still beneath their teeth and before it could be consumed, the anger of the Lord burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Therefore, the place was named Kibroth Havatava, because there they buried the people who had craved other food. From Kibroth Havatava, the people traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. Chapter 12. Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses, they asked. Hasn't he also spoken through us? And the Lord heard this. Now Moses was a very humble man, more humble than anyone else on the planet of the earth, on the face of the earth. At once the Lord said to Moses, Aaron and Miriam, come out to the tent of meeting, all three of you. So the three of them went out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud. He stood at the entrance to the tent and summoned Aaron and Miriam. When the two of them stepped forward, he said, listen to my words. Where there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the form of the Lord. Then why are you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? It's easy to be, what the heck? That's very true. That's very true. I tried to see from their point that at a point in time doing something wrong like the Israelites as well. But I love that how God is saying to Aaron and Miriam that he has set Moses apart, right? By saying that, he's seen my form. He sees me face to face, The anger of the Lord burned against them, and he left them. When the cloud lifted from above the tent, Miriam's skin was leprous. It became as white as snow. Aaron turned towards her and saw that she had a defiled skin disease. And he said to Moses, please, my Lord, I ask you not to hold against us the sin we have so foolishly committed. Do not let her be a stillborn infant coming from her mother's womb with its flesh half eaten away. So Moses cried out to the Lord, please, God, heal her. The Lord replied to Moses, if her father had spat in her face, would she not have been in disgrace for 7 days? Confine her outside this camp for 7 days. After that, she can be brought back. So Miriam was confined outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on till she was brought back. After that, the people left Hazeroth and camped in the desert of Paran. Chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, send some men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each ancestral tribe, send one of its leaders. So the Lord commanded Moses, sent them out from the desert of Paran. All of them were leaders of the Israelites. These are their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shemiah, son of Zakur. From the tribe of Simeon, Saphat, son of Hori. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jebunah. From From the tribe of Issachar, Egal, son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodai. From the tribe of Manasseh, a tribe of from the tribe of Manasseh, of a tribe of Joseph, Gadai, son of Sushai. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamaliel. From the tribe of Asher, Setur, son of Michael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabai, son of Vosai. From the tribe of Gad, Geuel, son of Makai. These are the names of the men Moses sent to explore the land. Moses gave Hosea, son of Nun, the name Joshua. Then Moses sent him to explore Canaan. He said, "Go up through the Negev and on into the hill country. See what the land is like and whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many. What kind of land do they live in? Is it good or bad? What kind of towns do they live in? Are they unwalled or fortified? How is the soil? Is it fertile or poor? Are there trees in it or not? Do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land." It was the season for the first ripe grapes. So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Zin as far as Rehob towards Lebo Hamath. They went up through the Negev and came to Hebron, where Haman, Hashai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, lived. Hebron had been built several years before Zoan in Egypt. When they reached the valley of Eshcol, they cut off a branch bearing a single cluster of grape. Two of them carried it on a pole between them, along with some pomegranates and figs. That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes the Israelites cut off there. At the end of 40 days, they returned from exploring the land. They came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account: "We went into the land to which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruits. But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the Negev with the Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live near the sea along the Jordan." Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, "Should we go up and take possession of the land? For we can certainly do it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are." And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, "The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seem like grasshoppers in their eyes, and we look the same to them." The end. That's the end of the chapter. So just a few things before I end out, right? So we can just see how God was so patient with the Israelites, right? I'm telling you, he was so patient because they tested him. They really tested him. But we can also see how faithful God was and still kept his promise, right? even though the Israelites were being a bit unruly, right? And despite their complaining, God was there. His presence was there. He still was there, right? I just want to say, what did this teach me, right? What did this reading these chapters teach me? It taught me to put my trust in God because He will provide. To trust in God because He will provide, right? To be obedient to God, because as you can see, what happened to some of the Israelites when it wasn't, they there were consequences for what they had to do, right? And to keep showing up for God because He shows up for you every day, just like here in the for the Israelites, God showed up for them every day despite them complaining, despite them wailing, despite them not seeing how good God is and God's worth and how He was providing for them, right? They couldn't see all that because they were so in their mind with complaining, and they were so um impatient with what God was going to deliver them, right? The promised land. And they couldn't do that in that time period. And all God was asking them is to trust Him, right? That's all God wanted, to trust Him, be obedient to Him, and all He wanted to do for the Israelites is give them the promised land, right? So I'm just gonna end it off with that. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for those who came out today. I really, really appreciate it. But I just want to give God all the thanks and glory. I want to give Him every bit of praise and everything that He deserves for what He is doing, because without Him, I wouldn't be here being able to sit here in front of you guys and read the Bible and actually have the courage to speak the word and spread the great gospel that Jesus Christ is our Savior. He's our Lord and Savior, and it wouldn't be possible without Him, right? So I hope you all have a good evening, a good night, a good morning, wherever you are. I will be back tomorrow with a devotional, because again, we are going to give God all the glory. We're going to thank Him. We're also going to give Jesus praise as well. So I will be doing a devotional tomorrow. The theme is protect your peace. So I shall see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time, right? And again, thank you all for coming out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.